Waking up in a sort of strange place today. This is the Salton Sea. We're enjoying our coffee and a hearty breakfast because we're going to need our energy today to explore Bombay Beach, Slab City, East Jesus, and some other surprises. We're even going to have a drink at the lowest bar in the Western Hemisphere. So as strange as this place is, I think we're going to see some things today that are even stranger. Well, that was a day.
It was a day.
We got to see all sorts of things. We met a lot of people. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We saw some beauty. We saw some not beauty.
A little tragic.
And, well, we're back from our traipse around. And let's just talk about some of the things that we saw today. And we're also going to talk about this whiskey that we're enjoying today. But I want to quickly talk about Bombay Beach first off.
Yeah.
It's one of those places that we've been excited to see for a very long time.
I find it so fascinating. I know that it's not a must stop or a must see on the way, but we were down here and I'm really glad we did. It's just a weird history that kind of went wrong, I guess.
I don't know. I think it's kind of still going right, semi going wrong. There's a lot of rundown things in the Bombay Beach area, but at the same time, the art installations.
Cool.
Some of them are fading a little bit into obscurity and they're falling into disarray. But what's there is still pretty cool and the people are still pretty cool as well. We got to have lunch and a drink at the Ski Inn, which was really fun actually.
I loved it. I don't know who owns the joint, but if it's the guy I think it is, like, I'm pretty sure he was here during the heyday.
Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But it's a cool mix of people in there and the dollars on the wall, people sign them from all across the globe and it was just a cool vibe in there and the food was good and it's just nice to have a cold drink on a hot day.
Yes.
And speaking of drinks on a hot day.
Want to go to the bar? I don't know if we have anything cold. Nope.
This video will be publishing the day after St. Patrick's Day.
We love St. Patrick's Day over here at the Bourbon Man.
And every now and again we like to be timely, and that's why we're drinking an Irish whiskey today. This one was gifted to us by our friend Eric Gunderson.
Hey, Gunderstruck today.
We're getting Gunderstruck for St. Patrick's Day. This is Teeling Whiskey, single malt, ruby port, single cask. So ruby port finished, 116.8 proof. We don't know much about it other than that because it was gifted to us. We think that the price is somewhere in the neighborhood of $80 to $90.
Could be more or less.
Age is in the neighborhood of 6+ years. And we're going to drink this thing today. And I got to be honest, this is ruby, rosy, pumpkin colored delight right here.
I know when we were talking about drinking an Irish, you poured this for me and I looked at it and I go, well, this doesn't look like an Irish. You go, it's port finished.
Yeah, it actually looks and smells more like, I don't know, I guess it's a whiskey, but that's got a wine nose to it if I've ever smelled one.
And I was thinking it smells all Irish all day long. It's got that apple cideriness to it that you kind of get with an Irish.
Oh,
the color would throw me off though. Like I would convince myself it's not an Irish just from the nose, just because of the color.
Yeah, I agree with that. But there is some of that copper pot still that shows up on the nose here. That little bit of a caramel funkiness. Let's go in for a sip.
Cheers.
Sláinte.
It's spicy right on the tongue.
Little spicy.
This is different. Ooh, there's some proof to this. I'm not used to over 100 proof on Irish whiskeys, at least not a 116.
Yeah, close to 120, and it's showing up here. It is proofy, but wow, great flavor. I like the fruit on this.
Yeah, it has a nice meld of what you expect for an Irish whiskey, but then that fruitiness does come through.
Yeah, there's an apricot, maybe a plum, a stone fruit medley, almost like the cooked down juiciness in a some sort of crumb. What do you make? What sort of a dessert?
Crumble?
Crumble, something like that. Yeah, some sort of dessertiness here.
I know it does strike you as like orange fruits, but not an orange, right? Like so like your peaches or your mangoes or your apricots or something like along those lines.
Little tropical on this too. quite nice off the bat. We will continue to sip this, but the next place that we visited was Salvation Rock. It looks great.
I have seen pictures of this throughout the years. A couple of the travel channels that I follow have gone there, right? And I don't think I was expecting much, but I think they just revamped it. Or not revamped it, but repainted it.
It seems
or
like it's constantly
spruced it up.
It's constantly being repainted, I think. It looks great. The people were cool. There's cats there. That's always nice.
There was cats there.
It looked fantastic. So if you're in the neighborhood, I highly recommend that. As far as we've seen some things falling into disarray, it looks like it's going to be staying just as it is and then some for a little while longer. From there, we went deeper into a place called Slab Town.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
They called it the last free place. It's a little bit weird. There's a little bit of everything there.
I'll be honest, it feels a bit Mad Maxy down here.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange over there. But if you follow the signs, and they're small, but you can find them, East Jesus is the place that you want to be.
Yeah, that was cool.
Follow the signs, get parked, go in, and if you're lucky like we were, you get to meet the old hippie at the door.
I loved it. It was so funny.
He's got great jokes. He's all kinds of fun. You know, the art, it's not always brand new. It's usually made of, I think always made of reclaimed things, and some of it's falling a little bit into disarray, but for the most part, it's there and it's cool, and I had a great time there.
I had a great time too. Some of the art is poignant, some of it is nonsense and ridiculous, but it's just a fun wander. And I'll be honest, I was kind of losing hope. I was feeling a little sad. And then I got there and I loved the guy at the front who told us stories, and then just wandering through what most people would probably think is junk, but it is cool, interesting art in the middle of nowhere. I thought it was so interesting.
Like you said, entering into Slab City, you have no idea what's coming next, but I was actually really impressed by East Jesus, and I think it's worth a visit. And if you're in the neighborhood, and I don't know why you would be, but if you do find yourself in the neighborhood, you have to go that direction and check it out. East Jesus, totally worth a visit. And you may hear some thunderous noises in the background here, by the way, over the Salton Sea. There's a military installation or installations around here, so there's a lot of jets and cool like plane activity. That's been a lot of fun to watch. And also, in the thumbnail, you might have clicked on this because it says lowest altitude whiskey tasting ever on WhiskeyTube, and I think it is.
Negative 236, right?
Yeah, I think we're actually lower than that. So Teeling, you might want to share that with everybody in the world, that your whiskey was sipped at a very low altitude destination.
And tastes delicious.
It does taste delicious. You're enjoying it, right?
I am, and to me, this screams an Irish whiskey. I know that it's finished and all of that, but the Irishness, is that a thing? But the Irishness really comes through on this.
I'm enjoying it so much, and the wine in here, that wine flavor, is unlike any wine finished whiskey I've ever tried. It's really heavy. There is a ton of that flavor in here. So you're not going to confuse this for a whiskey that hasn't been finished in some sort of wine barrel. And I believe it's matured in that port barrel from the start, and I think that's what's giving it so much flavor. But it coats beautifully. This spice, this sweetness, there's a great balance there. They play off each other very well. The stone fruit here and the vanilla and the caramel, it's all there, and I'm enjoying every sip of this.
Well, and you said something interesting where you said it was a heavy finish, and I actually feel like it's a bit heavy on my palate.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't drink thick, it just drinks weighted down a bit.
Yeah. Like a weighted blanket.
A little bit like a weighted blanket. I don't know if it's because we know we're drinking Irish, and to me, Irish is always, sounds silly, but like a little bit more fun, a little bit more vibrant. But this does drink kind of like a port would drink, a little bit heavier and weighted down.
Yeah, this strikes me as a dessert whiskey, certainly, and it is delicious. I'm enjoying it, and it's sweet, and it's everything that I would want from a dessert whiskey. I just realized we're getting rained on. It hasn't rained here in 30 years, I don't think. No, it hasn't been that long. What a weird day we've had, and it started weird. In the middle, it was weird, and at the end of the day, we're getting rained on in the Salton Sea, which is also weird.
Love it.
We've had a great time here. This entire area is worth exploring. We highly recommend that you do so, and this will be our last video in California, I believe, as tomorrow we are packing up the van. We're pointing east, and the rig is heading for Arizona. So the next time you see us, we'll be in a different time zone. Maybe?
Different time zone, mountain time.
Well, from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, it's creepy.